Everybody's been sliding into the comment section with some more question and answers. So in today's video, we're gonna do some more Q&A. So first one is, should I get an RX gas or an RX hybrid? I always like to call the RX turbo instead of, fossil fuels, but I get what you're saying. And this is a great question. It comes down to a few different things. One is, how long are you gonna keep the car? And how much driving do you do? Because if it's just about budget in terms of like saving fuel money, the difference between the two in Canada at least, the hybrid is about $2,500 more and the gas is obviously $2,500 cheaper. And the fuel economy on the website that I checked, fueleconomy.gov, which does a really good calculation of the two, says you'll save about $918 a year going to the hybrid. And that's on an average 20,000 kilometer driving. So with that said, it would take a couple years to pay off itself. And I guess in turn, the resale value might be a little bit higher on the hybrid. So if you're gonna keep it for more than 2 years, it might make sense if you do a lot of driving. However, you are gonna be limited to package. So right now on the RX 350h, you can't get any of the F-Sport packages, which are my favorite packages in the lineup. So if I wanted an F-Sport Series 2, I would have to do the F-Performance RX 500h, which you wouldn't really go there for fuel economy savings, but you would get like the sporty styling. So I would probably weigh those two options in terms of like, are you okay with a luxury package or do you want a sport package? And take that in consideration when you're looking at the two. Now there is one more benefit to going hybrid, and I'm driving an RX hybrid right now and I forgot about it. And that is, it is so smooth. It's smoother than my intro. And that's just because of that hybrid engine motor is kicking in, and from a stop, it's just like you're gliding. You're just flying. So that is definitely something to consider when looking at a hybrid. Okay, question number 2. Why is the LC 500 not marketed? That's a good question. I don't know for sure because I don't work for the marketing division of Lexus. But all I know is when you look at certain niche cars, it's not about getting as many of them on the road. It's about when you see them on the road, you're like, whoa, that's an LC 500. It's not your everyday volume, even volume enthusiast car. It's something a little bit more special to that. And when I look at countrywide, even a year and a half ago, there was like 15 LC 500s for sale used. As of today, I think if I go all the years, like 2019, all the way up to 2024, there's like 5 for sale. And I think 2019 to 2020, there's none. 2021, there's none. So there's a really high demand for them, especially with that V8. And there's a relatively low supply. And because of that, it keeps those pre-owned ones really highly priced. And I don't know, it just makes it a little more niche and special, which is part of the fun of having an LC, especially if you have a bespoke one. Shout out to you guys with the bespoke ones. Are there any window shades on the RX or NX? There is. So on the RX, usually like the mid-luxury packages and up, so luxury, ultra luxury, and executive, you do have rear seat window shades that come up and down. On the NX, I'm sorry, but you don't. But on the RX you do, so maybe that's one reason to go RX. Do you have to plug in a hybrid, or what does hybrid mean? Okay, so this is a good question. So if it's a plug-in hybrid, you plug it in. But if it's just a regular hybrid, we've sort of started calling them self-charging hybrids. You're just gonna put the gas in like you normally would a normal internal combustion engine. And that gas is just gonna last a lot longer, like 800 to 1,000 kilometers a tank sometimes. And a car that would normally do like 600 to a tank or something like that. So if it's a self-charging hybrid, you're just gonna put gas in. If it's a plug-in hybrid, which is like the NX 450h Plus or the RX 450h Plus, those cars are a little bit more rare and harder to get a lot of the times. That's more of like an EV where you plug it in every night, it's gonna give you some range. Maybe it's like 50 kilometers, 80 kilometers is not a ton, but it gives you a little bit more of that EV powertrain. And then when it goes out, when you run out of juice, when your range anxiety kicks in, it's just a hybrid. You can just put gas in it. So the plug-in hybrids are best of both worlds. And just remember, the term hybrid has evolved many, many moons and times. So like in 2011, Chevy had a Malibu that was said it was a hybrid, but really it just had start-stop technology. and it would just be like the idle would stop and you're at a light. So it does keep changing. Right now, think of self-charging hybrids is the normal hybrids we talk about, and then there's also the plug-in hybrids. And of course, there's full EV, but that's a whole other topic right now. Okay, does the new RX have navigation? Great question. It does, but it's cloud-based navigation. So it used to be that if you were looking at an RX or an NX or whatever, any package mid-level and up, a big selling feature was the fact that it had navigation. And with the introduction of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto to our lineup, we realized that is less important. However, if you have, some of those mid to high packages, you can get cloud-based navigation. And that's part of your 3-year connected services trial. And it uses Google Maps and Google Traffic and POIs and all that stuff to be sort of like a live map, but you do need that service initiated. You do have to have, the cloud-based thing going. But most of my guests use Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, including myself. I find the Google Maps or the Waze app or even the Apple Maps is just really cool. It's really sharp. I can change it on the fly. It just works so flawlessly. So I'd recommend, if your car has it, use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. It's the best. Okay, how long? There's a lot of hybrid questions today. How long does a hybrid battery last? Great question. I think this means like longevity of it. So I'm gonna go with that. So a hybrid battery has a 10-year, 240,000 kilometer warranty. That's on the high voltage hybrid battery. The reason Lexus can stand behind that without losing a bunch of money is because their experience from the last 20 years of making hybrids has taught them that they last. And one of the reasons they last a long time is because they're never like getting to 100% charge. Like even when the car says it's 100% charge, that battery is actually at like 80 capacity or 70. And then, even depleted, it's still going down to like 20. So you're really playing in that mid zone. And because of that, the batteries last a long time and they're really over-engineered. This dealership, Performance Lexus, has been selling hybrids since like early 2000s, maybe late 90s, something like that. And from the staff that's been here, even the ones that have been here for 20 or 30 years, they said that they've only replaced like 3 under warranty or something like that. And what I mean by that is one was like sitting in the Florida sun for many, many hours and it didn't like the heat. So it was like on fluke failed. Another one I think was like part of a car accident. And I think the third one was like, I don't know, maybe just another fluke thing. And that's with like 30,000 vehicles coming through here in the course of that time. So super, super rare. I'm not saying it's never gonna happen to anybody. Who knows? But it just gives you an idea that these batteries are super reliable. They have a big warranty even if not. And you shouldn't be worried about that because I think they're probably even more reliable than like an internal combustion engine. So hopefully that puts your mind at ease. That's all the questions this time. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of those. If you have any more questions, I love seeing the discussions that we have in the comment section. And even if it's something I can't answer, I'll try to at least keep an eye on those comments, maybe do some replies when I can. I think even the last 3 to 4 days, we had maybe 40 comments. So even as I'm scrolling and trying to get through some, I do try to look at them. And if I see a question, sometimes I'm like, oh, that'll be a great one. I'll write it down for the next Q&A video. And I really like that I'm seeing so many of our subscribers in that comment section. If I keep getting them, I'll make sure I give you guys a shout out, the ones that I see all the time. And of course, if you're ever in the area, feel free to pop in and say hi. That's another favorite thing I'll have about making this YouTube channel is a couple times a week, I have people sort of just like knock on my office door and say, hey, I just want to let you know, I see your videos and that's why I'm here buying a car. Or even it's like some of our previous guests that'll just come by and say, hi, hey Dustin, hope all is well. I see your videos every Saturday type thing. And it's one of my favorite things. Maybe I'll get some like swag that I can give people when they see me on YouTube and they come in and say something because it does really give me motivation to keep making these videos. So I'm Dustin Mason. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below some more questions and I'll see you in the next video.